appears to be new hope for abortion rights advocates tonight out of the Supreme Court. Even some conservative justices seemed to observers to be siding with the lawyers challenging that Texas abortion ban. The law forbids all abortions after about 6 weeks, no exception for rape or incest. But the oral argument today wasn't really about abortion at all. It was about the unique mechanism that Texas devised to enforce the law. The way it's written, the enforcer isn't the state, it's any private citizen. They're allowed to sue abortion providers or people who help someone get an abortion and win $10,000 in damages. Justice Brett Kavanaugh asking whether that kind of scheme, as he put it, could let a state violate other parts of the Constitution by using the same enforcement mechanism.
It could be free speech rights, it could be free exercise of religion rights, it could be Second Amendment rights. If this position is accepted here, the theory of the amicus brief is that it can be easily replicated in other states that disfavor other constitutional rights.
Then there's Justice Clarence Thomas indicating Texas may be overreaching, saying just because those private citizens may be outraged over abortions doesn't give them grounds to sue. And Justice Amy Coney Barrett focusing on part of the law that restricts abortion providers from being able to fully defend themselves when they're sued. Supreme Court reporter Amy Howe is with us now, co-founder and former editor of the SCOTUS blog. Amy, thanks so much. The conservative activists were active in question today. Did they, in your estimation, at all tip their hand?
You know, I think they did. And as many of your viewers may remember, there were 4 votes back in September to put this law on hold. Chief Justice John Roberts and the court's 3 liberal justices. So the abortion providers, the plaintiffs in this case, only needed to pick up 1 vote. And it looks like they may have picked up 2 or possibly even 3 of their conservative colleagues.
And this is all about process, really. Justice Kavanaugh asked if Texas can do this for abortion, could another state do it to, say, restrict gun rights? What did you make of that line of discussion?
That's right. I mean, the justices, there were 2 cases. And so one of them was the case brought by abortion providers. And the question that the justices agreed to decide was not whether or not SB 8 was constitutional, this ban on abortion starting at 6 weeks, but whether or not a state can effectively insulate this law from review by outsourcing enforcement to private citizens. And some of the conservative justices really seemed uncomfortable precisely because they realized that this works both ways. After the Supreme Court back in September refused to block enforcement of the Texas law, some of the other states like Florida were looking around at the possibility of enacting similar bans. And the providers in their briefs at the Supreme Court warned that it could be used for voting rights or campaign finance. But conservatives, I think, realized that it could also be used for gun rights, for the free exercise of religion, for the First Amendment. And Justice Kavanaugh asked about a scenario in which a state could enact a law that allows private citizens to sue someone who sells an AR-15 for $1 million. He said, and if they used an enforcement mechanism like the one in this law, would someone be able to go to court, to federal court, and challenge it? And the lawyer representing Texas essentially said no.
Yeah, Amy, a slippery slope, said one. Amy Howe, it's so good of you. Thanks for being here.